Do you want to build a snowman? Yes, with the frozen remains of my foes, anointed by the absolute knowledge that unlike Game of Thrones, I am not that fat yet. And that winter is actually here, as you discover the joy of playing Tainted Grail, the fall of... Greetings, folks. Let me ask you a simple question. Which is your favorite type of ice cream? Mine is death, with a sparkle of battle mage on top. This is a pure frost build, frost weapon, frost spells, and some frost gears, because after all, like the kid from the Sixth Sense, I am able to predict the dead comments. Pasta, you piece of garbage, chill sucks, how are you gonna kill the enemies that are immune? Well, duh. With a lot of damage, we can overcome those pesky mobs that really don't want to accept the glory of our savior. Chairman, Lemao, you can't see me, and technically, since we still stack high quantity of spell power, we can play around with other elements, other weapons, status effects, because we have a lot of damage. Before we begin, a word from our sponsor. Pasta, can I play this build without magic? No, you're welcome. Okay, let's look at our gear. First of all, the most important piece of this build is gonna be, regardless of what you do for the rest, Hexgrip Vambrace, because of course this is an hybrid build, so we convert spell power in physical damage. Without these gloves, everything will feel much worse, so these one are mandatory, plus they're incredibly strong, really amazing overall. Let's look at the weapons. For our wand and magic setup, we're gonna use Wand of Piercing Cold. Yes, if you want, you can play this as a double caster, however, Wand of Piercing Cold will ensure freeze anything super fast. Unless they're immune, in that case, you can use a different wand for those specific encounters. The only two of relevance are Percival in Act 2, because she's immune to chill and freeze, and the other one is the Weird Knight. For our spells, sadly we don't have a lot of cold spells in this game. In Act 1 we can use Hailstone, however the damage is not incredibly high, sadly. Winter's Kronvrot, also from Act 1, incredibly strong, however it's more useful for short range, and also it will allow you to double dip for bleed build up, because every projectile will inflict a stack of bleed. For Act 2 we're gonna use Frost Needle, which has a very respectable damage, however our final spell is gonna be Hailstorm, which is the strongest cold spell currently in the game. For relic setups on our wand, I will suggest you to use just spell power. For our melee setup, I use Frostmaw. It's incredibly good looking and I like this one a lot. This one, however, requires you to gamble for some items. I will go through in the item section later. You don't have to farm this item if you don't want to grind. So the other option will be Ice Tongue Spear, Great Sword of Living Ice. It will give you a lot of critical damage, but it has the issue that it will break and then it needs recharge, so that is unfortunate. Or Winter Songblade. This one is also incredibly good. It comes in Act 3, and it has a chance to freeze enemy when you attack them. And it also comes with increased damage when the enemy is frozen, so it's a very good weapon. So if you're looking for max damage, probably this one. It also comes with a base higher damage than Frostmaw. But the choice is up to you. If you don't want to play as a two-handed, you have one-handed option. You can use Frostblade, you can even use two Frostblade if you want. Frostblade is from Act 2, very easy to get, and also if you gamble for items, I've seen Frostblade drop quite a few times. You can use Frozen Sword from Act 3. You need to do a couple of quests to do this one. One is for the blacksmith in the Stonewarden village, and the other one is in a dig site when you go and do the Teud village quest line. You can also use Wand of Piercing Ice with one-handed weapon, because the wand will also affect melee attacks, so you can chill stuff by combining both. There is also Ice Crusher in Act 3 that will provide you with the 50% damage against frozen enemies. For our helmet, I went with Queen Protector's Crown. This is an hybrid build, it has a deficit when it comes to crit, so you need some crit from gear. Otherwise, be prepared to invest a lot of points in perception. Queen's Protector Crown is kinda annoying to farm because you need to give so much Eternal Cobwebs. So if you do not want to grind for this item, it's extremely understandable, and I will not force you to do it. We have also very good options. One of them is crafted, it's also very cool looking. It's the Frostwoven Mask, however this one will not give you a boost to enemies that are immune to chill. You can use Queen's Crown, not ideal because we are an hybrid, but it's still there. You can use Crow. Crow is quite decent and the critical damage applies to both our magic and melee setup. Crow is from the Children of Morrigan questline. If you side with Self, you get the full Crow set at the end of the questline. You can use Frostbound, you get the entire Frostbound set when you get your Winter Songblade. You can also use Archdruid, but it's the option that I kinda like less between this one. For our chest, Doublet of Last Jest is best in slot, with an insane boost of damage, and nothing really come close at the moment at the current state of the game to Last Jest chest Hexgrip combination, because with more upgrades you will get more, plus the incoming healing penalty doesn't matter because we are a two-handed build, so we life leech from our melee attacks and from our crits, so staying at full health is incredibly easy. In case you do not want to use Doublet of the Last Jest, we have some options. While leveling, you can go through the usual Spellslinger, Battle Mage, Robes of Waning Moon, Horned Warden, whatever you want. You can also use Royal, you can use Frostbound, and unfortunately Frostwoven, which was the chest that I was focusing on, is bugged. It has a beautiful effect when you kill something, that you make them pop. However, the AoE didn't work for me. I cannot suggest this chest. For back item, Ashen Veil will give you a lot of attack speed and physical damage. This one comes from Act 3. Very late. Before that, you can use Abigor Cape from Act 1. You can use Usurper, main story from Act 2. Do not side with the Mushroom. I swear to God, if I were to make a video, 10 tips for Tainted Grail, the first one is do not side with the damn Mushroom. There is no point. Do not side with the damn Mushroom. You lose so many items. You can also make yourself a Winged Cavalier backplate, crafted from Act 3. You need to do a couple of quests in this Wayne village for Atri, that's the name of the NPC. However, I do not like to make every build that literally has all the same items. For Amulet, you can go with Archdruid if you are using Spellwarden, otherwise mana management is gonna be an issue. If you don't want to use Archdruid for some reason, Archdruid of course is from the Druid Shrine in Act 3. You can go with Stonewarden, Blacksmith questline Act 2. You can go with Amulet of the Novice Ogre Hunter. You can even go with Heart of a Flame. That is also an option, also from Act 3. You can use Calm Finger from the Bounty in Act 1. In New Game Plus, it will have the same stats as Stoneward Talisman. In the base game, it will only have 5. For our pants, if you don't want to use Frostbound, especially if your crit is low, you can go with Fledgling from the Children of Morrigan questline if you side with Self. You can go with Volkers, Warborn for extra critical damage. You can go with Night Stalker, that is also an option. For rings, we're gonna use Perilous Orbs, and that's the only option because with the changes of crit, we're gonna have difficulty capping our crit. For boots, a lot of options. Spellwarden are crafted, you get Spellwarden when you get your Hexgrip gloves. If you don't want to use Spellwarden because you do not have mana relics in your armor or you're struggling with mana, you can go with Royal Slipper, you can go with Frostbound, you can go with Frostwoven. However, Frostwoven don't feel so good, so I mainly made this one for the skin as well. You can use Crow, it will give you a lot of crit, especially in the base game when you're gonna have low crit is good. You can use Fledglings, which is the inferior version of Crow, or you can even use Spellslinger, this is mainly up to you. For general relics on armor, go with max health, stamina, and mana. I would say that mana is kinda important because we're using Spellwarden. Okay, let's now go through the attributes and how to put them up while you level up. These are my final stats. I popped a lot of Potion of Origin. I tried with full spirituality stacking. I tried with more endurance. This is a balanced compromise because you want to have your melee critical chance at least in the 80 and the magical critical chance, well, ideally 100%, but 80 will be fine as well. Okay, let's look at points allocation during leveling. First of all, we need to meet some requirements. You can level up this build as an hybrid, as a full mage, as a full melee. My suggestion is 8 points in spirituality. This one is for our wand, we need these points. 6 points in endurance, 10 points in spirituality, 10 points in endurance, 15 points in spirituality, 15 points in endurance, 13 points in strength, 10 points in perception, 3 points in practicality. Now, since I gave you a lot of different items to use in this build, this requirement may change. So The rest is up to you. Afterward, however, you want to hit 20 points in spirituality, and after that you pump your perception until you have a decent critical chance. Okay, let's look at our skill tree. Again, depending if you want to play with dual wield or two-handed, you will need to pick different points. Also depends if you want to level up in which way. My advice for you is to start out as a mage. So we start in spirituality, 1 point in mana battery, 1 point in power and swiftness, max arcane teaching, get 1 point in imbibed by the elements, go in dexterity, 1 point in strong armor of the bowmaster, 3 points in marksman, go in spirituality in wand and cubes, max arcane conduit, max wand mastery, max mana battery, 2 points in invigorating energy. Then we go in perception, 1 point in extra lucky, 1 point in critical cascade. These are the basic points to make the magic setup work, for now at least, because our crit is still gonna be very incredibly low, tiresome wave. Afterward, you can continue to put points in spirituality if you want, but if you want to go directly in hybrid, I would suggest go in practicality, 1 point in born in armor, 1 point in inner strength. Also in practicality, 3 points exploitation of affliction. We go in strength, max godly physique. Choose which route you want to go, if two-handed or one-handed. So we go in two-handed, max brutish fighter, mighty blow, fury without fatigue, enduring strikes, unstoppable force, 1 point in impact, dominating presence. And this is the two-handed 3 for now. We cannot get everything here because we're kind of short on points. We come back here, executioner. You can take executioner early if you want. Weapon of the Great Theft. We go in practicality. We max born in armor, 1 point in armor skin, the best offense. We go in perception, 2 points in spite in cruelty, max aegis, which is another defensive layer, max bloodthirst, 2 points in deep wounds to generate bleed. We go in practicality, stacking peril. We go in red death, 3 points in plague warden, max crying pain, max long regret, 1 point in greed to enemies, whipping success max, giving and give up maxed, max generation wild damage. With the remaining points we can go in perception, go for the eyes, extra lucky, we go back in spirituality, 2 points in sorcerer efficiency for mana sustain. You can get this one early if you find yourself struggling with mana. 1 point in tranquility because why not. We go in combat, elemental shock maxed, elemental infusion, arcane mark maxed, energy feedback loop, which will also help you with mana sustain. You have a choice to make. You can get temporal sleep if you want, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. If you don't want to do that, you can just take more health with vitality. If you don't want to do that, we can take either perpetual swings or giant grace, and that is the point allocation for you. Now let's look at the best start for this build. You can choose to play or skip the prologue, that is mainly up to you. However, doing so will cost you some XP. Like usual, for all mages I suggest to start as a healer, but you can choose battle mage if you want. The main difference is that we want to get blood transfusion as soon as possible. You can even get a copy of blood transfusion in the dungeon if you want. The important items here to take are the HP statuette, get a pickaxe, get a recipe for potions on the door, and don't forget to take that potion of origin before leaving the tutorial, because you can miss out on that one. If you want some extra XP, you can also kill Conqueror. Get the HP ring as well. Then while you go back in the main laboratory area, jump down. You can also kill the berserker down there for extra loot. Offer 1 health potion to the lady in exchange for the mana ring. You can try to kill her if you want, however, Sirja is quite a strong enemy. Now on the beach I will show you how to kill Caradoc. This is on current patch. For people that are struggling, you will have to juggle around with it. The idea is that, like before, where you could just jump on the ship and kill him, you need to get him stuck.
早上好，中国！现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是速度与激情就比冰淇淋速度与激情就我最喜欢。所以现在是音乐时间。
So as we get out on the beach, get the recipe, get that tag as well from the body, buy some deer antler from the merchant,
Done already.
offer them to the shrine. We will convert these in spell power. You can get a very useful mana set with very low requirement in the hut next to the keep on the shore. Afterward, you can go and hunt around and get Spellslinger or Battle Mage. It is mainly up to you. Just explore the game and have fun. Throughout the game, you will find many druid shrines. Ideally, you should do as many as you want. All the locations are on Map Genie. Before going to the keep and on your way to get another druid shrine, you will find two very useful magic items. One is the Ring of the Novice, which will give you extra mana regeneration. You will replace that super fast with the larger mana ring from the tavern in the village, but regardless, there is also the Silent Weaver, which is gonna be your first kind of wand, scepter, or whatever you want to call it, which will help you with mana sustain. One of the most powerful early spell you can take is Poison Spray. You can find this under the bridge, is an excellent spell. You can also use cold spells. I have all the timestamp in the video anyway. If you want to level up as a Hailstone before getting Winter's Crown Wrath, that is mainly up to you. However, Poison Spray really hits hard. The damage only falls off in Act 2. There is also another wand that you can take, the Fire Wand. It has the same spirituality requirement of your Ice Wand. However, you can get this one pretty much immediately, and then you use it when you have 8 spirituality. It will allow you to stack burn pretty fast even if you're not using a fire spell, which is kinda useful during leveling. There are also some pieces of traveler gear and more importantly some eternal cobweb that you can get here. Those nodes reset once a day, so if you want more eternal cobweb you can return to any of them. Act 1 has several of them. You also get a flame torrent spell, which is kinda useful. Our main back item is gonna be the Priestess Cloak. It will give you 1% mana regeneration, which is kinda useful. You can also get a Blood Ring, which I would suggest, especially if you're playing with multiple projectile. There is also a fire spell that is close to that when you jump off on your way back, but I didn't clip that part, sorry. In the keep, you should do the quest for Lanzo, which will give you another HP statuette. And then, as you climb your way to the ramparts, or whatever is the name of that part of the castle, you should do also a quest for
Less
Guy, because it will
attention,
give you a
the better.
permanent max weight item that you can consume. In Act 1 there are also a perception book once you get into the crypt for the necromancer, and then you can buy
Oi,
another
no.
free bonus
What if I pulled
attributes
from that
in the
stone,
barbarian camp.
but it broke
Once you get in the
without even
village,
the
you
tip?
go in the tavern, and then you need to
But
do
I'll
a
still
small
get to be
park tour
king.
by jumping on the thing, and then you get your mana ring.
What's that noise?
My king, if you're seeing this message, it means Caradoc has fulfilled his task. Greetings, my king. If you're seeing... My king, I understand that what Merlin and I have done was against the laws of nature. Know how many brave knights gave their lives so we could find a way to bring you back. But their sacrifice was not in vain. With you here,
Those up now. I know. Yeah. Let's put that. You is you. Did you? And if you're. You.
With the time has. Can you you in? Go you no.
Hold your ground, men.
And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribing for more content of questionable quality and type. If you have any question or doubts, let me know in the comments. I will try my best to get back at you in a reasonable time. Have fun playing Tainted Grail, the Fall of Being Chilling, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!